All right, so we've moved on to the last page and we're practicing writing our converse, inverse, and contrapositive. So we already learned and you just read that a converse means you have to flip it. So we're going to flip the hypothesis and the conclusion. So we're going to say, if you are 13, then you are a teenager. This statement is true. Inverse, we have to not it. So if you are not a teenager, then you are not 13. This statement is also true. Lastly, we have our contrapositive. We have the flip not. If you are not 13, then you are not a teenager. This statement is false. I can think of a counterexample where you're not 13, say 15, but you are a teenager. So we get to our next conditional statement. If an angle is a right angle, then it measures 90 degrees. That's a true statement. We're going to write the converse. We're going to flip our hypothesis and our conclusion. So if an angle measures 90 degrees, then it is a right angle. This statement is true. Notice my angle symbol there. Next, we're going to write the inverse. We have to not it. If an angle is not a right angle, then it does not measure 90 degrees. This statement is also true. Our last statement, our contrapositive, is this. If an angle does not measure 90 degrees, then it is not a right angle. And this statement is true. We get to our last statement, and it says, if x equals y, then x squared equals y squared. This is a true statement. We are going to flip our hypothesis and our conclusion to write the converse. If x squared equals y squared, then x equals y. This statement is false because if x squared equals y squared, then x equals y. Well, if x is -2 and y is +2, x squared can still equal y squared because when you square a negative, you get a positive. The inverse would be if x does not equal y, then x squared does not equal y squared. Again, this is false. We can use this very same example. What about -2 and 2? X does not equal y, but x squared does equal y squared. Last, we get our contrapositive flip knot. If x squared does not equal y squared, then x does not equal y. This is true. Do you notice a pattern between the truth values of the statement? Sure. The conditional and the contrapositive always match. You may also notice that the converse and the inverse tend to have matching truth values as well. We get to the bottom part, and you've read about biconditionals. Now, we get to determine if the following statements are biconditional. All runners are athletic, so a person is a runner if and only if they are athletic. Sure. A triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. A polygon has 3 sides if and only if it's a triangle. True, sure. Angles greater than 90 are obtuse. Yes, integers are numbers. And congruent segments are equal in measure. All of these are definitions. So, they are all biconditionals. The only one that's not a definition is athletic. All runners are athletic, okay? I am athletic, but I am not a runner. So, we cannot say a person is athletic if and only if they are a runner, okay? So this one does not work forwards and backwards, so we can't turn this one into a definition or a biconditional. A definition is a good definition if and only if it can be written as a biconditional. Determine whether the following are good or bad definitions. A fruit which can be a pear. An object is a pear if and only if it is a fruit that can be eaten. This is pretty bad. A shape's a equilateral triangle if and only if it is a triangle in which all 3 sides have equal length. This is true. This is good. It's a square if and only if it's a polygon with exactly 4 sides. That one's bad. This is a polygon with 4 sides, but it's not a square. They are a teacher if and only if they work for public schools. This one's bad as well. You can be a teacher and work for private schools. Also, the people who work for our schools aren't just teachers. We have janitors, we have counselors, we have administration, all of that. Now, perpendicular lines. 2 lines are perpendicular if and only if there are 2 lines which intersect to form right angles. This one is good. So these two are definitions, and therefore can be written as a good biconditional with a little help. All right, make sure you turn in your homework so that I can look at it. I will be back at school later today. Have a good 3-day weekend, and please get your flashcards finished before I see you on Tuesday. Thanks, bye.